Welcome! Today I'll try to answer to another great question that was asked on my channel, which is how to transform my great scalene stretch into a dynamic stretch. Why it's a great question is because dynamic stretches, when done well, tend indeed to be more effective than static stretches. Welcome, I'm Olivier Girard, ergonomist, posture therapist, author of the Posture Manual and creator of the Posture Academy. Actually, as I'm in a generous mood, I'm going to give you 4 ways to make this stretch dynamic, maybe even 5. Let's look at the first possibility, which is the one I like less. In this variant, I take the traditional scalene stretch, the one that I showed you in that video, and I move back in direction of the edge of the bed until I feel that Mother Gravity is making my head tilt back a little. And when I inhale, I go against gravity. When I exhale, I let Mother Gravity further stretch the tissues. The reason why I like it so is that, you know, the original stretch of the scalene isn't very easy. So when you combine with this, with the difficulty of positioning yourself with respect to the edge of the bed, I find it honestly a bit complicated for most people, but some of you have found it great, so that's why it's still online. Second alternative now, we're gonna actually use a stretch that I haven't described explicitly for the scalene muscles, which is the lying down, head to the side stretch. You see, if my head is turned sideways, well, these muscles are per se also stretched, although the stretch is not specific for the scalene muscles. I bring my legs like this so that I cannot rotate like that. And therefore, you see, my head will tend naturally to fall in such a way that the ear goes in direction of the shoulder. To keep the shoulder low, I'm gonna take my foot with my hand, and now I'm gonna look here, facing, say, a horizontal direction, and let my ear go in direction of my shoulders. Yeah? And in this position, I'm also stretching these muscles. What's important is that you're not here on your back, you're rather in direction of your chest. If I want to target the scalene muscles a little more, I can do a very slight head extension here. Yeah? And from there, you see that it's fairly easy to use something that's called post-isometric relaxation, which is when I inhale, I go against gravity to contract the muscles. And when I exhale, I let go and the stretch goes further. And I do this 3 times until I leave the stretch for 40 to 60 seconds. Possibility number 3 and 4 are now based on the traditional scalene stretch, which is fairly complex. So, you know, take it step by step and follow my instructions. First, you bring one foot in direction of your buttocks and then the other one. Yeah? And then you bring your right ear to your right shoulder. You turn your head to the left and you do the very straight extension. Yeah? And here on the left side, so in the direction where you're looking, you're feeling the stretch. To reinforce the stretch, and that will help you with possibility number 3 to make the stretch dynamic, you can bring your knees here to the opposite side of where you're looking at. And now when I inhale, I'll bring the knees to the center, and when I exhale, I let the knees go. Inhale, exhale. So that's the third possibility. Possibility number 4, we stay with the knees in the middle or here, doesn't matter. And we redo the stretch. Yeah? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hand to create the resistance when I inhale. So try what you feel when you have your hand here and you want to bring your head against your hand when you inhale. Or when you do it the other way around. Both work, but it's more effective when your hand is between the head and the floor. Because, you know, pressing against your hand is contracting the muscles, and therefore, when you remove your hand, it goes further. So here are the 4 different possibilities, and the 5th one that I mentioned is not really a possibility, it's more, you know, think about it. As the scalene muscles help with inhaling, especially deep inhaling, which is not something you want to do. Well, it's something you can use in the context of the exercise. I mean, you don't want to do it in daily life, but in the exercise you may use it. So, you know, put your hand here on your scalene muscles, and you feel that if you inhale deeply, at some point they contract. So, you know, you do that, and then when you exhale, it will push the stretch. So you can also do contract relaxed, not based on moving your joints, but based on controlling your breathing. My advice is, when you do contraction relaxation, is that you contract for 3-4 seconds, you relax for 3-4 seconds, and you do this over 3 cycles, and then you keep the stretch for 40 to 60 seconds.